Today we're going to be talking about anti-airs, how to actually get better at anti-airs in this game. Really, this could apply to like multiple things, I guess. And this is not necessarily a drill or anything. It's more of a mindset thing, like how to go about thinking of improving your anti-airs. I think some people think that, okay, if I just practice these anti-air drills 20 times, then I'll get better anti-airs, which might be true, but you're only really working on the execution portion. I think there's multiple portions you have to take into account as far as like mental portions or ways to think of it. But I feel like the problem is a lot of people, when they do anti-air drills of any sort, they only focus on the execution portion. They're not really thinking how they should be if they want to get better. Unless like execution is what they need to get better at. But I'm saying if they're trying to overall get better, like if you can't anti-air, you're fucking doing this is all right sometimes, but like if you're doing this all the time, jump back jabbing, which I do a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm getting better. Okay, I'm working on myself. You aren't, so I'm sorry, I'm joking. Anyways, so I've divided this, like I always do with these videos, into categories, and each one will kind of go into each other, if that makes sense. So step by step. So first things first, we have execution. Now on the execution side of things, and this doesn't matter what anti-air drill you could do, any anti-air drill. I think typically the best drills are the ones that are all encompassing. They kind of have multiple anti-airs in one, so you can focus on all of them, unless you're just trying to specifically focus on like cross ups or certain anti-airs. And like, yeah, maybe, but I think the best drills are the ones that have you like, okay, I gotta think about, like I have to switch gears and anti-air, like I have to consciously think, because if I'm just having Ryu jump at me the exact same way every singular time, bro, I'm not gonna that's not realistic, bro. When I say execution, I mean, yeah, getting it right, but how you like to execute your anti-airs. So me personally, like, unless I'm literally standing or walking back, which why I think you shouldn't have a favorite way to do it. There should be there's like a preferred way. Like my go-to reflex when I'm anti-airing, unless like I'm literally walking forward or backwards, if I'm like this, even if I'm walking backwards, I'll actually just come like that, or I'll roll it under. I like the crouch because it gives me more time to anti-air, because like I said, frame one, you get the DP. Unless you just get hit before it could come out, period. For the most part, it gives you way more time to DP, and that's how you see people get super deep DPs a lot of the times, or sometimes, not all the time, right? You can get them too from not doing that, but it works. Like, for example, if I'm standing, right, like logically, I'm gonna show y'all actually better than I can tell y'all. Oh, see, this is fine, but I can only get so deep, right? If I crouch, look how deep I got from crouching. That's why I like to do that. So by default, habitually, I'll do that unless like there's a situation where I'm just not, like, then if that's the case, I roll it. But I try to figure out a way to get to my spots. It's no different than like an NBA player, right? Not saying we're NBA players here, but they get to their spot. They'll do a move, but inevitably they get to the spots where they have a higher percentage of hitting. So if you're good at doing anti-airs like this, find whatever way your fingers need to move in order to get that motion. I don't think you should do all that, because quite literally you could just do two diagonals and get a DP. But who the fuck am I, right? And next, and we kind of just literally spoke about it, but it goes under execution, is positioning. So when you're doing these anti-air drills, no matter what they are, you want to focus on your positioning once you get past the execution barrier. And basically, like, you want to practice every position. So if I'm walking this way, I want to practice getting to my spot like this, or like that. Or if I'm down here, do I do that? Like, it all just depends, right? It depends. And you want to work on that part so that your fingers kind of automatically do it. And I think when you like start to do it more, your fingers are doing the right thing. When you drill it into your fingers which way to go, it'll be there, but it'll not work, because you're going to be fighting yourself. Because this has happened to me. I was fighting myself, and then I realized when I looked at the inputs, like, bro, my fingers were doing the right thing. It's just a confidence thing. So don't get discouraged, because one, you're learning. So if you fuck up like 20 DPs, but you feel like your fingers, like it, like really go look at your replays, turn on the controller, and then see what you're doing. The virtual controller, virtual inputs, and see what you're doing. Because I guarantee you're probably doing the right thing. It's either you're not fast enough, or it's just a confidence thing. Like, you're not hitting the button, so you're still getting counter hit, right? But rest assured, if you drill your spots in, it'll come naturally, right? It just won't feel like it because you're not used to it, or you're trying to use your brain. You're trying to fight against your body's reflex, but you want to make it a reflex. So if I'm back here, boom, I'm gonna jump here. If I'm down here, like that, you know what I'm saying? If I'm crouching, I'm just, yeah, you know? And it also depends on the point in which they're in the air too, and how early you catch it, but that's going too deep. Now next, once we get past that point, we have speed. So speed is just how fast you can get to the spots without fucking inputs up, right? Like, let's say I'm doing this, I can't even, there we go, and then I get that. Speed is how fast you can do it without getting some shit like that, or getting like a donkey kick or something on accident, depending on, you know, I don't know. depending on your character. Some reason I can't fuck it up now, but I swear to y'all, if I was in a match, I would have fucked this shit up 10 times, right? Boom. So we're actually gonna turn the drill on, right? So when you practice, focus on all of, all right. To be. Oh, see? See, I'm getting the jab. I'm getting jab. Like, you know the jump is coming, but you're just purely at this point working on your speed. Let my or whoever you have doing your drill get as low as possible and then try to like clutch it last minute, if that makes sense. So like, you see how I'm doing it the second she pops off the floor, boom, boom, boom. All right, we're drilling that. Realistically speaking, in a match, unless all you're looking for is a jump, that's not really gonna translate, right? So let's say I'm not looking for the jump, or it's not in the forefront of my mind in a current situation, right? How fast can I get this off at the last minute? Right, I got hit. Boom. And you want to practice that. How late can I get the DP off? See that? Boom. And as y'all can see, even in how I was saying my favorite go-to is down here, you see how in that situation I'm just cranking it like that because it's way fast, right? And that's the purpose. You want to find out like what your defaults are in certain particular situations, right? Like if they're up close and they jump, are you trying to scramble from a crouching DP? It all just depends. It really, like I say to say, none of this shit really matters. It's all preference. Everybody DPs and moves different. And honestly, if you have a hitbox or some shit like that, a leverless, none of what I'm saying even probably matters. Like past that when it comes to execution, right? And the last thing we have is practice. So how I recommend practicing this is go to the hub. You could go to rank, but go to the hub, search for a player similar to your rank. It's not really hard to do, but like if you're a master, go farm other masters and just work on that aspect. Like don't sit here and only focus on DPing, because like sit there and focus on DPing, but don't overly focus on it, right? Like I say, like for example, okay, well if you're not focusing on it, how are you gonna DP? If you're worried about the execution part, maybe, but I'm saying if you're past the first 3 steps, then you're at the point where okay, I got the speed, I got everything down, and you're just trying to practice. Pretend like you're just playing a normal game, and if they jump while you're in neutral, you're not trying to think about whiff punishing or doing something else. So if they jump in and like your brain is cleared, you're not like burdened trying to buffer a fireball or nothing like that, and you chilling. Boom. Practice doing it as quick as possible. And the funny thing is how we were practicing it earlier where we were saying do it as low as possible, as quick as possible. Most times in a match, that's the situation you're going to be in unless you're looking for it. Not always, but like a lot of the times, that's what it's supposed to teach you. So like if they jump, I'm supposed to be comfortable knowing that, hey, I'm gonna get this DP because I have the speed to do it. So if they jump, instead of you sitting here saying, oh, fuck that shit, that motherfucker, oh, nah, I'm ducking because he's that close to your head, it makes you, rather than turtling up, it makes you actually attempt the DP. That's the purpose of it. So don't be overly concerned with the DPing aspect, right? Don't be overly concerned about winning either. Like, to me, a win is you anti-air jump in. You still try to beat them, but I'm saying don't sit here and lose track of the main goal, right? So that's what I'm saying. But you should be more concerned where if they jump now, like don't be hard on yourself if you're mental stacked with other shit, like you're worried about doing other things and they jump on you. Yeah, that's fine, because sometimes you have to let jump in rock. But if your brain is clear, I'll do you one better. If you're in a situation where you jump back jab or you do whatever your DP default is, then in those situations DP, and you know those better than me, right? So in a situation where you went to clutch this or you went to do whatever this is, right? Think to yourself, DP. So try to swap those habits out with DP. And if you don't DP at all, try to DP. If you get blocked, if you can block it, you can DP it. If you throw a fireball and you get punish countered, you couldn't do shit about it. But if you block it, you could DP it. Same thing. If you can block it, you could DP it. You got to think if she jumps in on me while I'm doing this, I'm fucked anyways. I might as well buffer the DP. You backing up? But yeah, that's how I would say you practice getting better at your DPs or your anti-airing. Now, anything that's not a DP, that's just more so, I ain't gonna say anticipation, but anti-airs that aren't DPs, invincible frame, all that, that's a different story. That's more so just you actually kind of have to look for it or be more cautious of it, because you can't like catch cross-ups. There's certain shit that doesn't apply to that, right? But I mean, that's not what this video is for. This is for people like that have DPs, right? But yeah, hopefully this kind of helped. Like people think of it differently. It gives them more intent to practice the drills rather than just drilling this, because you doing a drill 100 times without the actual understandings in a lot of, or some cases, naturally it'll give you fundamentals or it'll give you a kind of leg up, but it gets to a point where when you get to a certain level or point in your gameplay, practicing certain drills without the proper purpose will, I ain't gonna say it'll make you bad, but you'll plateau in that category because you're not, you know, growing, right? Like, if I can anti-air my a million times, what the fuck does that do for me in a match? Motherfucker's not about to be jumping at me every 10 seconds like this. Right? I know she's gonna jump, so the goal is to make it as game accurate as possible. As accurate to an actual match as possible. But yeah, hopefully this helps y'all. Thank y'all so very much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, because I don't be on there, but I might start being on there. And follow me on twitch.tv. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Y'all have a fantastic day. I'm about to go take my dirty ass to the shower and maybe go exercise. But y'all have a good one.